How about those?
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insights? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by Chiefs Blitz and sponsored by Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a real estate expert, call Eric Haynes today at 816-729-3785. That's 816-729-3785. Now, here is your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar. It is Monday, July 1st. I am your host, Nick Athan, former publisher of Warpaint Illustrated, and we're joined by Mr. Hense Todd, producer extraordinaire, one of my best buddies, and the guy that has tirelessly worked to put this show together each and every week. We appreciate that very much. For more with Hense Todd and Andre Tillman, you can check out their show at 1 o'clock on Saturday at YouTube. They do a great podcast. So before we get started today, I'm a little raspy today at a family reunion, so I'm going to give it my best. With that said, let's talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a trusted real estate advisor, if you're just looking for someone you can trust in the real estate process, whether you're buying or selling a house, there's nobody better to call than my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes. As everybody knows, who's been watching the show and listening to the show, he helped me and my wife, Emily, find our dream house. It was a lot of ups and downs. It was a lot of chaos. It was a lot of joy. It was everything in between. And he answered every text, every phone call, and calmed us down when we thought we were going to lose the house. At the end of the day, that's what you want in someone who's trying to help you find a house. So give Eric Haynes a call at 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chiefs. Ooh.
Oh my
Good job there, Hense. The lack of trust on this muting the mic.
Team, man, what happened,
like the
man?
kids, the kids in the back seat in the car. We've got you shut down. Be quiet. I'll stop this car if I have to.
That's what happens,
All right.
man.
All right, Lou. All right, Lou. Do it now.
We're going to redo it. Proud sponsor.
Well, wait a second. If you're going to say it, then it kind of kills the whole mood, man.
It kind of kills the thrill, man. I'm like, dang.
The entire timing is thrown off. It's a thing, man.
I was trying to get you a line. I was trying to get his lineup music, but I forgot to go back.
Yeah, I still don't have my theme music, so I don't want to hear it.
Still ain't got his theme music either. There it is.
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
All right. Well, that's obviously the other two members of the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, Mr. Lou Montagna.
The muted guy.
The guy on mute.
Bring it deep.
And of course, Coach Andre Tillman, Coach Dre.
What up?
What's up, guys? How was the weekend, man? Mine was chaos.
Man. Can't complain.
No, you can't get about Nick.
Hey, Nick, you was still standing.
Yeah. That's a feat indeed.
That's right, Nick.
62 years young. Woohoo.
That's right. Nick,
Love
you still standing, Nick. You still
Thanks,
standing. Even with your weekend, you still standing.
Yeah, we had a family reunion. A lot of people. It was great.
And then we got the young man over here, the producer. Dang.
Hey, I was trying to find Lou's theme music that I forgot to go back into the other screen. I said, "Oh,
you gotta be in rotation, sir. You gotta be. You know what? That's just the producer.
No,
man.
the reason I mute, I don't try to mute. Dre be watching stuff in the background.
I think it's the same every show.
Music. Dre be watching stuff and the music be going, so I be trying to mute stuff. So I'm like,
don't try to throw me in there, sir, because you messed up, sir. Don't try to throw me in there.
Right under the bus. It was
not
me. It's him.
Yeah.
Happy Canadian Day to you, Frank.
Yeah. Hey, Frank.
Good call, man.
Our good friend north of the border, Mr. Frank Katsaros. Happy Canada Day indeed. It is July 1st. You know what July means? Training camp happens this month. It's gone by so fast. This has been the craziest off season, I think, in Chiefs history, from the parade to all the stuff away from the field to Travis and Taylor, guys getting arrested, guys getting in trouble, stars emerging.
Guys getting married, Nick.
Guys getting married, stars emerging in OTAs and minicamp.
Congratulations, Kingsley. Congratulations, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, and props to him, and props to actually, he retweeted this. I think he did from our post. So we appreciate that, Kingsley. I hope you and your bride have an amazing life, and I hope you're the best left tackle that the Chiefs have had in a really long time.
Oh, he threw the shot. Bow.
I'm just saying. I
hope you got a ride back. It looks like they're in the middle of nowhere.
Hey, Lou is different. Lou, that's what love is. No shoes on.
Yeah, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire got hitched, if I'm not mistaken, over the weekend as well.
Yeah, I heard.
Shout out to Nicole Hartman, who they got engaged. So, hey,
yes,
it's a lot of, and who else got it?
There's good stuff. And hey, to Travis Kelce, he goes to California and he flies straight to Dublin to see his girl Taylor Swift.
He's racking up the miles. You think he's getting some freebies now, or what?
I think so, Lou.
That he has one of the airplanes at his disposal.
He Travis Kelce putting in the necessary work.
Travis is using those jets like you and I use an Uber.
Hey, boy, I'm trying to tell
punches in his digits, and the jet's fueled up, ready to go, flight plan to wherever the hell you want to go, Travis.
I can't be on an airplane. If I'm on an airplane for more than 3 hours, I can't do it. I go stir crazy.
Dude, even if I flew from Atlanta. Atlanta to Heathrow is like 8 hours.
Yeah. No.
So Nick, the guy that's taped up in his seat.
What's that? Oh no! The worst flight. The worst. I've been in two potential midair disasters in my life.
Oh wow!
And I'm not a great flyer. I check the weather. I have canceled flights. I have moved flights around
on your own.
On my own, just because
not feeling it today.
Feeling so. The longest flight I had, believe it or not, was from Kansas City to Long Beach. No, from Dallas to Long Beach. It was a headwind, so we were facing the headwind, and it took 5 hours because the winds were so strong that the pilot kept saying, "We're chugging along as fast as we can." But we had a very unusual jet stream that day, and it just took everywhere. So there's nothing you can see, which makes it even worse for me. Nothing I could see above me, nothing I could see below me. We were just in this massive weather pattern, and that was pretty scary.
John Madden didn't like the birds, the Airbus. Not a big fan.
No, but it's for those that a lot of people have a fear of flying, and you want to hear my near miss?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right,
absolutely.
So we're flying in a private plane from.
Look at Andre's like it's the slightest hint at a story. He's engaged. He's locked in.
Yeah, I am.
So I'm in a private jet.
Tell us how you almost died.
I didn't know.
Tell me about the impact.
Yeah. So we're in this jet from Orange County, going to Dallas, where I was living at the time. I worked for this movie producer, and I had this great job reading scripts, and we had some scripts, and we had some people to meet. So we fly to California. We pick up one of his friends. So we're just tooting along. Everything's cool. I can see the moon above us. It's a really beautiful night. And all of a sudden, the pilot says, "Hey, we're probably going to hit some choppy weather." So we hit some choppy weather, and all of a sudden, we were doing side to side, up and down, and the pilot's cockpit was open because it was only like an 8-passenger plane, and all I saw was he let go of the steering column, and we dove about 10,000 feet, 8,000 feet in just a matter of seconds, and I'm thinking for sure we're done.
Was he praying when he let go?
He had no choice because the pressure of the weather on the plane was too much. So he didn't want to counter steer. So he basically just put us into a dive to where we could eventually get in a little bit less windy weather. So we finally stabilized, and we're still going side to side, bumping up and down. This has been going on for about 35 minutes, and I've already said everything I can say about the end of my life and praying and all that.
Right.
And so as we finally got stable, he said I could hear him, and there was a Delta Airlines flight below us, and there was a Southwest plane above us because we were obviously off course because of the weather. And we had to climb. There was no more option for us to sink any lower. We had to climb. And I remember him saying, "Will you tell the Southwest plane to get the F out of the way?" And we finally got up to about 36,000 feet. And we were right on top of the storm. And we still were bouncing. So we finally get to Dallas, and I get out of the plane. I kiss the ground.
Never again.
And I got smashed.
Wow.
I remember getting pretty smashed that night. So there you go. That's my
Hey, listen,
Aeronautics 101, gang.
Yeah.
There we go.
Man.
Well done, Nick.
Hey, listen,
well done.
I can't stand the plane. I'm afraid of heights too. So I'm afraid of heights as well. So my first time on a plane scared the crap out of me. I was a little tipsy, so I was cool in the first go. When I came back, I was sober. And man, I felt every bump on that plane. I felt everything on that plane. I said, bro, I tried to go to sleep, couldn't go to sleep, man. I said, I don't like this. I said, I don't like this.
My worst was going to was a Hawaii, man. It was a long flight, and it was like a bumpy ride over the ocean. Never again will I ever.
It's one or the other. If you fly over water, it's either calm or it's bumpy. There's no in between.
We'll find Delta America or something.
Yeah,
one of the top ones. But
boy, water too, man. Shoot, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, that was the worst. But that was the worst one I was in. There was another one.
Shout out to all the guys. I guess we hit 1,000.1K followers on the X.
Appreciate that, everybody.
Keep hitting the follow button. Keep sharing the show. Keep hitting us up on Twitter, Instagram.
Ruben said Brazil. Ruben said Brazil. I said
22 hours. Oh my God, Ruben.
If y'all can hear it outside, it's flooding.
Was that like Ruben? I gotta know. That couldn't have been a nonstop. You had to stop at least a couple of times, right?
22 hours. What the hell? What were you in? I mean, that doesn't compute.
He was in a prop plane.
Wait a minute.
You know what?
22 hours.
The Eagles and the Packers are going to fly for 22 hours to go play a football game. Come on now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Man, that's what I'm saying. They can't have a team overseas though, because like they had a real team in the NFL overseas. You know how long?
No, it's happening. You're going to have 4 teams in Europe by 2030. Easy.
Right.
Dang, well, that's a long flight.
We will talk about the Andy Reid greatness of the long. We're speaking on the long flight. What you got to say about this, Nick?
Well,
Big Red.
I mean, that's one of my favorite pictures of Andy Reid and Chris Jones and everything they went through last year, and just that whole exchange right there just tells you what a great guy that Andy Reid is. And I kind of wanted to broach the subject a little bit because I think it's important for those newfounded Chiefs fans, who have just kind of been on board, even though Andy's been here, 11 years, 12 years now.
Ain't it been that long? That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's been that long. I mean, I remember I was at his press conference and the guy just exhumed confidence. And, he obviously left Philadelphia and he wasn't sure he wanted to coach again. And the Arizona Cardinals had convinced him, hey, we're going to make you the highest paid coach. We want you to come visit. And the Chiefs, and kudos to Mark Donovan and, of course, Clark Hunt, who sat with him in an airport terminal, which turned out to be an 11-hour meeting. And they convinced him to come to Kansas City to save the franchise. As we all know, it was the tragic accident of Javon Belcher. It happened a month prior. The Chiefs only won 2 games that year. They had the first overall pick, something they never had in franchise history and probably never will again. And they convinced him, and the plane that was waiting on the runway to take him to Arizona took off without him. And Andy Reid came to Kansas City And if I'm not mistaken, I think his first year, they won their first 9 games in a row before they went to Denver and lost against, I think, Peyton Manning and the Broncos. And it's just been quite remarkable. It wasn't always easy. It was not a smooth road. A lot of ups and downs in the playoffs, a lot of hits and misses. And then Patrick Mahomes comes along, and he's groomed this kid, and he has worked with this young man, and the Chiefs now are the best team in football, and that's a large part to Andy Reid and what he's accomplished and what he's been willing to do, and his steady demeanor and his steady calm, even when we never thought they'd win another Super Bowl after the Colts debacle and the Titans debacle. He comes in and he restores order, and he says, guys, this is going to take time. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And we've won 3 of the last 5 Super Bowls, and that's all thanks to Andy Reid, I think.
Yeah, man, he should have been a Cardinal. He should have been a Cardinal long as Patrick Mahomes would have been a Cardinal too. But that's I think. Well, I say this though. Andy Reid,
Bidwell or Hunt? What do you seriously? Come on.
Andy,
he could have met with them for 10 minutes and not realized this guy is nuts.
Yeah. Listen though. It was the power of Andy Reid. We wanted that aura in Arizona. We could have used that aura. We could have used that aura.
I had it in Bruce Arians though.
Bruce Arians was good though. He was. I'm not knocking Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians was phenomenal because he changed our organization. He did. Mm-hmm. But again, Andy Reid, his aura, like when he came to Kansas City, I was like, dang. Then they started winning. Hey, I almost jumped on the bandwagon.
Yep.
But I say this though, Andy Reid did a phenomenal job with Alex Smith. Remember, Alex Smith was the guy, and he did great things with Alex Smith though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, But just his aura and what he represented, you know what I'm saying? He put that with Kansas City, man. It was amazing. You know what I'm saying? So,
I don't think there's any doubt right now he's the best coach in the NFL and probably has been for several years. With all deference to Bill Belichick, you kind of see how it ended and how it can end. I think it was Andy never won like that in Philadelphia, but he had kind of worn out his welcome. It was just a good time for him to leave and a good time for them to move on. But just looking at some historical stuff, if you guys can bear with me a bit, I think everybody knows he's number 4 overall in wins. He's 44 wins behind Belichick. George House is 16 in front of him, and then Shula is another 10 in front of Papa Bear at 328. So he's 70 wins away from Shula. And we talked about how long is Patrick going to keep playing? How long is Big Red going to keep coaching? Do you think he goes beyond this contract? We'll see. But he was a guy, you go back to, I guess, the now infamous video of him in the punt, pass, and kick in the Rams outfit where he looks like a giant compared to the little kids on the field. And you're like, when did he ever play or anything like that? But he did play. He was an offensive lineman at Glendale Community College in California. Right. And he was a decent player. He I guess at the time, he thought he was going to go to Stanford. And then the legendary coach from BYU, Lavelle Edwards, came calling because he actually wanted Reid's best friend and roommate, Randy Tidwell, who was another offensive lineman of the team. And he recruited Andy because he thought Andy could convince Randy to come along with them. And he did. And the guy ends up playing at BYU. And Andy didn't play much at BYU, but I think what came out there was just he was constantly questioning the coaching staff, the quarterbacks about strategy. He was being very analytical about things, a very physical dude. Didn't play a whole lot, but that was kind of like his entry into football. And I think that's when Lavelle Edwards kind of put the bug in his ear about coaching because he wanted to become a writer. Hell, Nick, he was going to infringe on your little corner of the world there. But anyway, I mean, Jim McMahon was the quarterback there when Andy was there. Mike Holmgren was there. I think he might have been on the staff. So Yeah, I mean, and he came up as an O-line coach, and everywhere he went, San Francisco State, Northern Arizona, UTEP, Mizzou, and then to the Packers. And I think where things really changed for him is when Mike Holmgren gave him the opportunity to coach the tight ends and eventually the quarterbacks and Brett Favre. And as that developed and they, became successful, he got his opportunity then in Philadelphia, and he kind of ran with it, right? So Coach Reid is just he's paid his dues. He understands, like Nick was saying, that it is a marathon, not a sprint. Every day is a new day. His famous line is, they're like a farmer's work is never done. It's the same thing in football. Every day there's something else.
Farmer's work is never done. I like
absolutely. That. Every day is a new day, and you start back from the beginning and you work on stuff. So.
He just an offensive genius, man. Let's just throw it out there.
He's taken that West Coast offense. I mean, it's from Bill Walsh to Holmgren to what he learned at BYU and all the twists that he's made on it. Mike Holmgren doesn't get nearly enough credit as a great coach, but he's the root of it. If you spoke to Andy Reid about Mike Holmgren, he'd tell you that he probably owes his professional career to that guy.
No, yeah, absolutely, no question,
definitely.
Speaking of Andy Reid, nice guy. My first time running into him at the airport. I was just putting my luggage on the good cool little story. Put my luggage on the little rack to get checked in for the flight.
Did you have that little pink Nike bag?
No, I didn't have that one. I have my green one. But again,
that's right.
I was all dressed up. Me and the wife was going on a honeymoon trip to Florida. I think it was a coaching thing they was having down there. They have in Florida every year. And I was getting on the plane. He was like, "Nice bow tie." And then I didn't know who it was. I turned around and said, "Oh, that's Andy Reid." I said, "Hey, you mind if I get a picture with you?" Yeah, get a picture with him. Me and the wife start walking down the thing. Sit down. We went get to Delta flight. Sit there, about to get on the flight. I'm like, why is he following me, man? They getting on the same flight as me. Then Miss Tammy stopped me and said, "Hey, you wanna change seats with us?" Because they were sitting, all the way in the front. What'd you call that little section?
First class.
And she was like, "I can sit back there with your wife. We go down there." I said, I can chat it up. The whole flight, I rode down there to Florida, sat next to Andy Reid. We just
really?
Yes. Back and forth. I got the picture. Me and him sit on the same seat together. I'm going to post it pretty soon when I find it.
You picked his brain, as you should. As you should, man.
Great. Set up that one-on-one interview.
Hense is our own Forrest Gump.
No kidding.
It just shows up everywhere.
Man, listen.
That was a crazy thing. Like, I was at the airport, and he was like, and Timmy was like, "Yeah, you want to, I can sit in the back with your wife." That we wasn't that far back, but she went back there. She was giving my wife the pointers on marriage and everything else, and we rode the whole. I think it was
cool. That gotta be that's an honor though. That's an honor to sit next to Andy Reid, because I'll be picking his brain through the whole flight.
That let you know how good the family is. How she didn't have to do that. I would just.
How much did he talk about food, Hense?
He was talking about. Honestly, he was talking about styles of clothes.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, he was talking about
the bow tie did it for him.
It's probably what did it. So y'all talk about fashion advice. Y'all want to talk about the X's and O's. Y'all want to talk about the X's and O's, man.
Fashion and Nikes. The love he had for Nike Forces, Air Force.
Was he wearing a Tommy Bahama flower or like Hawaiian shirt?
And then when we got the flight, they all met up with Kingsbury and all the coaches was meeting up on the
Kingsbury.
Yeah, all of them was down there. I was like, "Hey, that's nice." But he was like, "Have a straight nice trip, you know what I mean? Enjoy y'all honeymoon or whatever."
What's up, man?
You have a personal relationship with Big Red.
No, I don't. I'm just saying.
What do you mean? You spent an hour and a half with him? I mean, shooting the camera. You're like best friends by the time you're.
Did you exchange digits? Did you exchange digits, sir?
Like when I'm at the covering the games or whatever, when I see him in public, Yeah. I was like, hey, he like, hey, sometimes he remember, what we said on the plane.
Of course he does.
It's pretty great.
Look at that.
Love it. There we go.
Kareem.
It's going to have his podcast sponsored by Bubba Shrimp. Watch that, Eric.
Hey,
oh my goodness.
But great, that's what it was. I had a big red man. Hey,
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
You got legs.
Oh, Lieutenant Dan.
You want this ice cream? I mean, hey, but
ice cream.
I got your ice cream. But the thing about it, Forrest Gump was getting cheated on the whole time, man. Just like that, there's something. I like that poor guy. But again,
damn her, Jenny. Come on, now.
Dang, man. That was a touching movie.
Speaking of Andy Reid, that was one of the stories. There was a nice story to have.
That was running. Listen though,
the point. I'm just in awe of the patience you've had. We've been doing. How many of these shows have we done, Nick? 7,000 or 8,000?
Man,
I don't know how many we've done. But our boy Hense has been sitting on that story.
I had no idea. He's never mentioned it once to me.
No, I told it to y'all before.
No,
that's what
we probably weren't paying it. Our ADD kicked in. We probably weren't paying attention.
They don't listen. They don't let me talk on this show.
Because you're the producer. Because you are the producer. The producer doesn't talk, Diddy.
Shut up.
So listen though, but Andy Reid is a heck of a coach, man. Heck of a guy. Everybody loves Andy Reid, man. I just wish he would have came to Arizona, but that's another topic again. But
never gonna happen.
Listen, Nick. But you know what though? Honestly, my biggest impression from Andy Reid was with the Eagles, right? Remember when they had T.O.? Remember they had T.O. T.O. got hurt, and he still managed to get to the Super Bowl without T.O. With a bunch of guys that we probably don't know who they are.
With his quarterback throwing up on the sidelines because of the pressure.
Man,
Donovan McNabb was sick in that game.
He just said, let Todd cook. That's what they said.
Yeah.
I don't get, sometimes I don't get to tell you.
Let Todd cook. Are you talking about the Todd that messed up at the beginning of the show? The one that messed up the soundtrack at the beginning of the show.
Speaking of me, guys, let's go ahead and throw some more up there. Hey, if you're
there it is. Again, dog, you're reaching to pat yourself on the back there. Be careful.
We don't know what we got here.
You got to stretch before you do that.
Man, the producer of the year, guys. The dude does it all. Hense does it all, man.
Now, tell me, look at that shot of Hense at the top. Every photographer is ready to shoot. Hense is like ready for his close-up.
Man, talk about it.
Zoom in here, guys. Talk about it. This is my good side. Come on.
But again, guys, I was watching over the weekend, chilling, and I came across the Chiefs video. So let me watch this. I said, hold on. Is that me up front? And it was. I was up front.
Forrest Hense. Forrest Hense.
I like that. Forrest Hense.
Hey, Forrest Gump every picture was. You like, how the heck you get?
I kept snapping and snapping and snapping. Hey, but Hense does it. Hey, Hense is cold with it. Hense is cold though, man. That's my guy, bro. Hense is cold,
but man. Hey, it was. That's what it's. I told you guys that story before.
He did. I remember.
Maybe on the bow tie show. I don't think so. I've never heard that.
I did.
Well, Lou. Now you heard it now, Lou.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
we got it for sure.
Yeah. I just want to know where the X's and O's at. You didn't get to the meat. You didn't get to the meat. I want to get to the meat, man.
Yeah, he certainly was drawing up plays on a napkin or some shit like that.
I'm trying to tell you.
Sometimes you sit next to somebody, you be like, that you don't want to talk about their work life. It just like they try to take a break from it. So like, we start talking about fashion and everything.
Well, that's what I said. I thought maybe you'd be talking about food, cheeseburgers, something. Come on.
I ain't talking about. Listen, ain't no breaking you a coach. I want to learn. I said, you know what? The hell with that. We gonna learn today. Was move this man back to the back seat, bro. Like, no. What was your mind? What was you thinking? Like, man, I would have picked this man. Brain, bro.
He been start looking over like, where my wife at?
Hey, he would have, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. He would have, bro.
We need to get Mrs. TMZ on here, and we got to break down what Miss Tammy was. Hey,
I told you we gotta have the wives of the show out here. Yeah, she'll tell you.
Yeah,
she said she was talking about kids and grandkids, how many grandkids she had.
At least you got personal. At least you got personal with Andy Reid, man. At least you got personal. Y'all talking about
Andy
favorite clothing.
Jerry
shops
Rice.
at Walmart. He shops at Walmart. What you know? What I'm saying? What kind of briefs he has on? What's the special briefs?
Two of the most famous athletes in NFL history, or names.
I'm gonna find that picture. I'm gonna send it to you. But again,
how long was the flight though?
The flight was like to Florida from Kansas City. I think it was like an hour and a half, maybe.
Okay. Well, you could dive into the playbook because it was the hour flight. You know what I'm saying? Because there's too much. Because I want to know the whole. I want to talk about his history from college, high school. What made you want to be a coach?
That's his first season with the Chiefs. His first season with the Chiefs.
Oh, first season with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Oh, the Alex Smith. The Alex Smith era.
Yeah, Alex Smith era. It wasn't Patrick Mahomes. So I was like, But speaking of Andy Reid, I seen this question out there. I know y'all, Lou gonna say, "Come on, hopper cattle," but it is. I see you put it out there. I see this. They said you got to choose one coach for the decade. I know everybody gonna choose
next decade.
You get one coach for the next decade. Who we taking? Who we taking?
You gonna go young? You gonna go young? You got a couple. Reid and Harbaugh in their 60s.
Yep.
I didn't think Harbaugh was that old though.
Yeah, he's I think he's 62.
62.
No, you think Kyle?
Andy's 66. Andy just turned 66.
I would take honestly. I like Kyle Shanahan. I like Kyle Shanahan though.
He's not even going to be coaching in that. He won't even be a head coach in 3 years, 2 years.
Jesus,
come on, that was a shot.
That
was a shot. So I'll take Kyle Shanahan though. I think Kyle Shanahan is an incredible offensive head coach, man.
Shanahan is a lifer. Okay,
he's not going to be a head coach.
It's
in his blood. It's in his blood.
If we buzz back to like 2012, 2011, Nick's popping off about Andy Reid not being able to win the big game and he's done whatever. It's the same thing. I mean, the guys are almost following almost the same game plan. He's in San Francisco. He may have to go somewhere else before he wins, just because the message starts to get a little stale with the same team and whatever, and eventually he may have to leave. But the guy's a lifer. He's not going to do anything else but coach. I'm not saying
he's not going to be.
You just said he wouldn't be coaching football.
Head coach. Sorry, I clarified.
He's never going to back that. Somebody will hire. Are you kidding me?
Man,
he'd get hired. He'd get hired in 10 minutes after he gets fired. So his agent's going to be.
I think it would be a mistake. I think he doesn't relate well to his players. There's so much chaos around the 49ers right now.
Exactly what you were hearing about Andy Reid.
And you're right. And here's the difference. Okay, we'll have the argument. Here's the difference.
Okay, come on.
You can't compare this. You cannot compare the two quarterbacks. You cannot compare the overall system and the coaching staff. I mean, Andy, for the most part, has kept his coaching staff together.
So get out your walkers,
and he relies on his coaching staff. Shanahan has the ego to where he showed up as defensive coordinator in the Super Bowl instead of letting him do his job. This is an offensive guy, and I know he's the head coach and it's his responsibility. But you look at the Ayuk situation. They're not going to pay. They're not going to pay him.
In terms of the coaching in San Francisco, every year he loses his coordinators because they get head coaching jobs.
And that's a big deal.
So you do have to give him the opportunity to filter guys through. And the same thing happened with Andy Reid. There was a few guys Gruden and guys like that, John Harbaugh, guys that got jobs while he was still on staff. So Kyle, I think, just takes a lot of hits, I think, because he's perceived as having this huge ego, which I'm sure he does. I don't think there's any question about that he is a very confident young man. And
you should be.
It's an experience thing too. And I like I said, I mean, the careers very much parallel one another. Okay. And I can see him after like 10 or how many years he's in San Francisco, just walking away from there or getting asked to leave and then catching on somewhere else. And the next thing you know, he's got a young quarterback, and here we go.
And he develops these young quarterbacks too. Like he take what was given to him, and he just like Andy Reid would do. He made the best of his guys he got. He made the best of whoever he has.
Now,
and
does it turn out exactly the same? Probably not. But he's going to be he's going to be coaching until he doesn't want to coach anymore.
I mean, the man been to a couple Super Bowls. He didn't win them, but he's been to a couple close.
He's been to 3.
Yeah, he's been to 3. So I'm saying, like, he's good. He's good, you know. So I can't take none. Whatever, because he went against Andy Reid. That's all it was.
All right, let's hit a few of the topics or the message boards. Casey Will, Eagles coach's worst with the ego. I can't disagree with that one. Sam Paris, I wouldn't use Andy's years at the Eagles as an example because I blame McNabb for that loss. I mean, I think there's something. Sam also thinks that Shanahan will be an offensive coordinator. Ruben slicing it right up. 49ers don't mind being number 2. Casey Will, Reid and head coach, and Tillman as defensive coordinator. That would be fun to watch. That's for sure. And I had to throw this one in there because talking about the airplane stuff. Reminds me of a time Michael Jackson asked me to switch seats, and I got sandwiched between Janet and LaToya for 2 hours. Now, I want to know that story in great detail because the fact that Michael and Janet were together, that's great. I need the whole story on that one.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. You serious though, Kareem? You was with the Jacksons?
Yeah, that's.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous, man. I ain't going nowhere. I'm amongst greatness. I'm amongst greatness. I said we can. Hey.
So when at what year were those 3 flying commercial?
Yeah,
come on, man. Talk about it.
gotta know that story.
He said commercial.
But speaking of that, and Andy Reid always fly commercial though. He's like a lot of people always say they see him on a plane. They private jet.
But these are the friggin' Jacksons, man.
This is Michael Jackson we talking about here. I don't care if I'm in the South.
I'm just talking about like
you got Janet, Toya, and Michael Jackson. I don't care. I'm like, guys, hey, take your time, fly this plane slowly. Hey, hit a couple turbulences. Listen, I would love to be around Michael Jackson, bro, and the Jacksons, man.
I bet you would. You go to the Never Never Land, like you said, Michael.
I'm going. I don't know, man. I think Michael Jackson's the GOAT. But anywho, I'm taking Kyle Shanahan as my guy because I like his off. He's a great offensive minded coach, man. He can work with anybody. All these guys, he can work with anybody.
Yeah, Harbaugh's got a brilliant mind. Andy, Kyle does. Campbell's a little different. He's kind of, but to say for the next 10 years, the only thing you're basing that on is his age.
Right, it's age though.
That's it.
Well, then Andy wins.
In the next 10 years, I still had to choose Andy Reid.
Yeah, I mean, you said if Andy's breathing,
he said 5.
I'm taking him.
Not funny. If Andy Reid's breathing, you still gonna put him out there? He's
Andy can stay healthy, and Michael can stay healthy.
If he wasn't feeling well, we put him up in the booth, and he can watch.
Let that 22. Man chill. Let him chill, man. We put him in the booth. It's over. Like Cal's a young gunner, man.
I don't think Andy's going in the booth. I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm saying if he was like ill or sickly, come on.
Well, yeah. There you go.
Hey, Ruben said don't mind second tier. I know. I'm not saying that like Cal's up to Andy. I know Andy is number 1, but Cal's right behind him. I give you that. Cal.
Yeah. Once you've had the caviar and champagne, it's hard to go back. So
yeah, man. I'm trying to tell you. So where do you put Campbell at though? And nobody discussing Campbell. What kind of coach is Campbell?
You know, I think he has a lot of potential to dominate the NFC. If he learns from his mistakes of last year and doesn't put his teams in kind of those situations and understands there's a time to be aggressive and there's a time not to be. And that's the hardest thing you have to learn, I think, as a head coach, because he's fiery. I mean, his players love him. The Lions are spending a shit ton of money paying their superstars there, and they're paying him a lot of money. And I think for 10 years, he would be. I think he can win a Super Bowl. I don't think there's any question. I think Harbaugh's going to win a Super Bowl with the Chargers. I don't think there's any question about that. It's just it's in his DNA. It's going to take him 2 or 3 years, but I think in 25, 26, they're probably going to be the team to beat in the AFC. And I hate saying that, but I just know the man. I know how he coaches. I know his style. He just wins everywhere. And but he's 60, and pretty much a lot of people have told me that he just wants to coach for the balance of his 5-year contract, and that's it. He wants to join the championship, NFL championship club like his brother, and I think that's highly, highly important to him. But I think Campbell. I think Campbell's got a really good shot at winning a Super Bowl too. I love his style of coaching. He's just got to learn situations to do things a little differently. That's
Campbell. I like Campbell. Campbell just aggressive. Campbell is that guy's aggressive. Hey, I'll go. 4th and 35. Let's get it. We're going for it. 4th and 35. Hey, you only live once. Let's get it, man. That's Campbell's mentality. He's just very aggressive. He had faith in his guys. So again, I get it. I really get it. Hey, go for the guts.
Too much faith left him to his defate.
Yeah, I think if he's bringing Ben Johnson with him to coach the offense, I'm all in.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you're just taking a guy to be the head coach, it's going to be Andy Reid every day and twice on Sunday.
Yep, I agree. I don't think he's going to coach 10 years. But I think Andy's going to. I think what you mentioned early on, Lou, and in talking about the accolades, I think he wants to be the coach with the most wins, and I don't think anybody's going to catch him if he gets there, if he surpasses Belichick. And I don't see Belichick coaching again.
Exactly, because I think just with the way that the teams go through coaches, and we look at the Steelers and we kind of look at them as like an anomaly, as they just stick with their coaches. Tomlin would probably be the next one, but has a long, long way to go. But, typically these NFL teams, I mean, if a guy stays more than one contract, it's like an upset. I mean, teams, 2-3 years, they're changing coaches. I mean, they don't like them. They don't like the situation. Well, let's bring in another guy. And it just, rinse and repeat. So, I don't think Tomlin would be really the only one. Seriously.
Tomlin. Well, what kind of coach is Tomlin, guys? What kind of coach is he? Defensive coach? What is he?
Well, he came up as a defensive back
from Minnesota.
Originally he was on the staff he was on the staff in Tampa with Dungy and Herm Edwards and that group. Eventually, or maybe from Minnesota to Tampa with Dungy, and then on to Pittsburgh. But no, he's a defensive guy. No question about that. Yeah. And I think he's just, the culture setter, motivator, that kind of Bill Cowher type guy.
Hey, it works.
Pittsburgh type guy. But no, Andy Reid, if he gets another 70 wins, which, gosh, if he's healthy, you got to believe he'll do it. He'll be at the top, and you just forget about it.
Yeah, but if I'm choosing one, and for the next decade, it will be Mr. Eric Hense.
All right, let's talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Hense, with the Eric Hense Group. He is your trusted real estate advisor, and he'll be that advisor if you simply give him a call at 816-729-3785. If you're looking for someone you can trust, someone's going to be there for you, going to walk you through the experience, whether you're buying or selling a house in the greater Kansas City area, give my good friend a call, Mr. Eric Hense, at 816-729-3785, or you can email him at esaleskc@gmail.com.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who.
There we go. Now he's back. Dang, was missing something earlier. Threw me off today.
But before we get into the next part of the show, go ahead and get into some of the comments, Nick, where everybody can feel like they love.
Well, Ruben says Tomlin knows how to talk to men. I don't think there's.
I agree, Ruben.
Yeah, Steelers settle all the time. Yeah. Casey Will, in regards to Bill Belichick, he's busy with his 24-year-old.
Bill Puls.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Welcome to the group. Welcome to
Casey Will again. He's got Mahomes. Half the plays called. I think becomes Mahomes' own version of the play call, which is probably true. And then Sam with the humor today. Kareem was in a Jackson sandwich.
Lucky Kareem.
Lucky Kareem.
Lucky Kareem.
Yeah, we'll have to get more details on that story. So That's kind of.
I would got autographs.
Yeah, Kareem just dropped that and seemed like he dropped the mic and walked out. you can't just throw that out there.
Stupid, man.
I want an essay. I want a 1 paragraph essay that we can put up on the show.
You didn't get a pair of socks or a T-shirt from none of them? I would have got something from them Jacksons. Shoot.
Crazy.
I
would have cut their jacket or something.
Speaking of the Jacksons, we gonna have, but it was something that was thrown out there. It's another group that keeps, taken from the Chiefs Blitz. I don't know how. Every time we post something, it's getting taken and they repost it themselves. But again, shout out to those fellas too. They're giving us some love. I hope they're giving us some love for our credit. But Mango put this out there. It's
certainly didn't look like it.
Not for us. So
we can't show.
What do y'all think about this duo? This two duo that's going to start out. They're missing number 5 there. It's going to be 1-5.
1-4-5. 1-5-4.
Well, how you want to put it?
I mean, go ahead, Lou. Go ahead.
Well, again, we'll see about Rice. See how long it'll be before we get him on the field. We'll see in training camp, hopefully, and maybe in a couple of preseason games or one or whatever the hell they come up with. But no, I mean it's going to be a little bit like last year. They got to figure out.
My son noticed something in the picture. He was like, "Hold on, sorry, Luke." Yeah. He was like, he said Xavier Worthy looked like he was standing in front of the Chiefs thing. You know, little opening in the shoulder pad. The thing in front of the stadium.
I think maybe they did. Maybe just photoshopped his head in there.
They may have done that. Oops, moment. Hey. It's all good. Hey, I'm glad he's on our football team and not the Bills.
Are those his arms? We don't know.
Yes, sure they are.
But no, hopefully, I know it doesn't take as long as last year to get these guys rolling because again, on paper, it looks like it's going to be a dynamic group. You got a little bit of everything, over the top speed, guys with a ton of wiggle, a lot of run after the catch. And again, if the 19 becomes a piece of it, then it's going to be very difficult for defensive backs to hold this crew down. So it should be.
It's going to be impossible.
I just protect Mahomes, and we can talk about these guys, man, because this number the icing on the cake. Just make sure the cake is sturdy, make sure the foundation is good, and then we can talk about breakout games and all this other nonsense. I'm just saying, protect Mahomes and we straight.
Yeah,
that's it.
I wanted to, man, but I was watching it. I seen it, and my son seen that little guy. I said, "Wait, what the heck?" I said, "He do look like he's standing in front of the little statue in front of the stadium." But
you talking about the one like they having little jerseys, they put the heads on there and whatnot.
So is that Mango? Is that Mango and his handiwork from Germany?
No. But again, I feel like it's gonna be scary for everybody else. You know what I mean? With that speed, Rice working down the. Working with the seams. Then you got, Niva, you got Hardman, then you got Hollywood Brown.
You keep throwing Hardman in there.
I think Hardman's he's gonna
to make the team.
I don't think
where's
so.
Where's the Glazing music at? Where's the Glazing music at? That Glazing music for him. Speak on Hardman, man. Speak on him, man.
I feel like he's gonna always be a part of the team. And this is why Hardman has 3 rings. Tyreek Hill
more rings than Tyreek Hill.
It did this. Hardman always his signature play is down into the ring. Just put in the ring. If you're not going to take Hardman,
big cool
story to tell your grandkids forever. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to
let's put it this way, Hense. If McCall gets significant time at wide receiver this year. Something went wrong. No, again, it's nothing against McCall. It's just that the guys ahead of him, I think, potential, and if they can produce and hit the ground running quickly, it's good. Yeah, he was like last year. It was like in case of emergency. They broke the glass. They brought him in, and we'll see if it's the same this year. But yeah, it's the youth at receiver is going to be very exciting.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is really the first time I mean, we had Tyreek Hill and we had Robinson at the time. I think Brian Pringle. They were 3 young receivers.
Yep.
Patrick had his breakout season. Kelsey had a tremendous year, but now we have some young guys. We have some, one first year and second year players and a couple of third year players. And at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes has never had this kind of receiving core. And of course they got to put it all together. But at the end of the day, the potential and probably the best thing that we're going to see in training camp is going to be watching the maturity of these guys. And you just never know. I mean, Rice threw up after his first practice, and then he was a stud thereafter. So, you just never know. But it's going to be fun to watch. To me, this is the most exciting part of this football team. Is the receivers.
Oh, it's going in. Hey, Casey Will said Worthy isn't any different than Miko. Both fast, small build, right place and spot. They do well. So basically, what he's saying, they both similar build, but I think Worthy can catch better than Miko. I think Worthy got a little more.
Casey Will, this is where we part company, man. Xavier Worthy was. I mean, in terms of production at Texas versus what McColl was doing in Georgia. I mean, he was completely raw coming in terms of route running, everything. Whereas Worthy is a little bit more of a polished receiver running in a pro style passing game, with Sark down there. So I couldn't put them in the same class. Maybe body build, sure. Speed, I gotta believe Worthy's a little faster. Not a ton, but it's still pretty damn fast. So if he can stay healthy and they get the hamstrings straight and everything like that, watch out. Yeah.
No, listen now. Worthy gotta get his traps up. Worthy gotta get his traps up until he fit those pads. Gotta get them traps up first. Man, he can wait. Yeah, those traps up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody get that little Photoshop crayon.
You gotta get those traps up, man.
Fill that in.
Hey, listen though.
Heads.
So say I'm talking about Hollywood Brown will have more yards than OBJ. OB 710, man. I haven't forgot about 710.
No question.
710, we here.
Why is he getting 710, Dre? Come on, man.
Because Tua is the young goat.
I think
Tua is the young goat.
Please, Tua is nothing. He can't even get a contract from the Dolphins.
He's a young goat, man.
Coach is putting the hex on Tyreek and Jalen.
Man, I'm giving y'all a little bit of love. I'm giving you a little bit of love, man. I got faith in OB.
You're putting the hex on him. One of them is going to have to get hurt for OBJ to get that many balls thrown his way.
I mean, it's a lot of love to spread around, though. It's a lot of love to spread around.
Mahomes coming. Is Patrick Mahomes? Is Tom Brady coming out of retirement? That's about the only chance he has.
I think if that happens, I think Mahomes to me. Let's say Brady do come out of retirement, right? Mahomes wants to be Brady. That will be his motivation: is to play Brady one more time, play him one more time when it counts. Where it counts.
I don't think Tom's coming out of retirement.
Yeah,
he ain't.
Tom's done.
Tom is the great. Yeah. Tom is great.
Demekio Spence. Go Chiefs, bro. All right.
Go Chiefs, bro. Hey, listen. I love y'all, man. I'm just saying.
Why you gotta say it like that?
OBJ, man. OBJ all day, man. OBJ all day. Man. 17, man.
All right, you can ride that horse all the way till the end of December.
We got a tree. He's just trolling now.
Hey, I'm trolling. What you mean I'm trolling, Lou? I'm just saying, man. OBJ. All right. I'm done. Dang, I'm done.
Doesn't that girl already passed her 15 minutes? Or can we be?
I don't know. She's getting $650.
Man, that woman eats
every time someone asks her to say that.
That girl over eating, boy. Like
I tragically researched it. Tragically.
Nick,
it was.
You were on it, man.
$650.
$650 to just reprise her little.
I mean, think about that.
Me and Dre almost came across a jam like that when we was doing Red Friday.
That's 1 hour for 12 hours a day. That's $7,800.
Came up to us, and my wife said that yesterday. She was like, "You and Dre had that type of girls on the when we did the interview. I was like, dang, we
sure did. We sure did.
Damn, we could have kept asking the questions.
We had our opportunity. We had our opportunity. We had our opportunity. We did.
So speaking of opportunities, Kareem gathered himself, figured out a good comeback. Oh, they both fell in love, but I wasn't ready for a serious commitment. So.
Oh man,
Kareem dropping the mic again.
The hammer.
All right.
The hammer.
Very nice.
Kareem lucky, man. Kareem lucky, man. I would love to be in that situation.
So let's get into the last.
All right, I want to talk about a little bit. This was the recent anniversary, 41 years ago. We lost Joe Delaney, and for a young Chiefs fan, for me at the time, he came out of nowhere. He was part of the Marv Levy running machine. The wing offense or the wing T, whatever it was. Yeah. But he was a special football player. And I remember watching him and thinking, wow, I've never seen a running back that can do those things. He had power. He had speed. He would run over people. But I thought the most interesting thing, and this is kind of like the first time this happened to me as a Chiefs fan and post Lenny Dawson era, every time he touched the ball, you didn't know what was going to happen. And he kind of was like that. He wasn't, I'm not comparing him to Bo Jackson, and congrats to Bo Jackson for being inducted into the Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame on Saturday. Absolutely. But he was one of those guys that when he touched the ball, whether it was a run play or a screen pass, he could score a touchdown on any given play. He was kind of like the Priest Mahomes. God, I'm going bad here.
The best running back in the league.
Sherlock.
Yeah,
Holmes.
And he was like Priest Holmes. And it was just at the end of the day, you watch him. And I remember one game, he was approaching like 193 yards and he had a chance to get 200. And, he had a 4-yard loss and Levy just said, okay, no more. And he actually pulled him from the game. But, he sacrificed his life, 41 years ago and saw some kids who were drowning in a pond. And he said, I can't swim, but I got to save those kids. And one survived. And unfortunately, 2 of them died and Delaney drowned. And, he was 24 years old. He left 3 daughters behind. And
wow,
that was the first time I remember really feeling that, one of the guys that I admired, one of the football players, one of somebody in sports that was personal to me. And, when he passed, it was sad. And, props to to Lamar Hunt at the time. He took care of all the arrangements. The Chiefs took care of everything. And to this day, they've still helped the family, which I think is great. And, the 3 little girls, didn't really know how special their dad was. And obviously we've kept his memory alive and he was special. And I just felt it was important that we at least acknowledge the sacrifices he made and the importance he's had on the Chiefs kingdom, even 41 years later.
Yeah, the year he was drafted, 1981, I was a high school senior. And ESPN had just started, showing the draft. He was a 2nd round pick from Northwestern State in Louisiana. So you say he kind of came out of nowhere, which, at that time, the way the Chiefs had been drafting, you're like, you had no idea what they were doing or what they were getting. Their 1st round pick was a tight end, Willie Scott, that might have played a year or 2. Their 3rd round pick was another tight end who never played in the NFL. And there was it was just littered with just a lot of crap. But in that draft, the number 1 overall pick was Heisman winner George Rogers from South Carolina. Okay. The number 2 pick in the draft was this kind of lanky linebacker from North Carolina, went by the name of Lawrence Taylor.
Yep.
You may have heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Some other guys in that draft. Freeman McNeil was a top 10 pick, running back from the Jets. Some Hall of Famers, Kenny Easley, Ronnie Lott, Mike Singletary was in that draft. Howie Long was in that draft. Ricky Jackson from New Orleans was in that draft. But Joe Delaney was kind of a special dude. And what Nick was saying was right, because the previous few years, Levy, we had no idea what the hell was going on. It was like the roster was so bad that he brought back like this old, like high school, college offense with 3 running backs. And it was like, what are we doing here? But that year, Delaney's rookie year, he ran for over 1,100 yards. They actually had a winning record that year. Inexplicably, they were like 9-7, but then his second year he was hurt a little bit, only played like 8 games, and then there was that summer where tragedy happened. And but you got a guy, there was a guy that played for the Houston Oilers, another Hall of Famer, Elvin Bethea, was a defensive end, played against Joe Delaney on a couple different occasions. He said his quote was he played against OJ, played against Walter Payton, played against Gale Sayers, and he said he put Joe Delaney up there in terms of physical abilities with those guys. So that tells you a little bit about who he was and what he could have been. But yeah, Nick, you're right. Every 40, not every year, but just about every year it comes back up. And just this heroic effort. And so that tells you about what a guy he was. But in terms of a football player, this dude was special. And, barring any other injuries, probably, could have been one of the all-time best.
Yeah, he could have been too. He was a tremendous young man. That smile, the personality, the fact that, he just sacrificed his life. I mean, that's just, It was a sad day in Chiefs land, and I'm just so grateful that we remember him and we honor him, and we never let his memory go.
Absolutely.
Great story, guys.
There we go.
I didn't get a chance to see him play. I don't think I was
not born yet.
You weren't even a twinkle yet, so you weren't even a twinkle yet.
No, I was still swimming.
Were your parents even married at the time? Did they know each other?
Hey,
you were a speck of dust in the universe.
You're the thought in the universe.
But again, man, the way that I don't know if I can't swim, so I don't know if I did the same.
You just put a pool in your backyard. What are you talking about?
I can walk and stand at it. I can walk around.
I can put my head in the water, though. I can put my head in the water.
Imagine that for a second, being in that situation where you don't know how to swim, and it's just like Nick said. I don't know how close the quote was. I can't swim good. Gotta save these kids. If I don't come up, if I don't come up, get somebody.
That's the thing. There wasn't a whole lot of the people that rushed into the water, right away, and he just did it on instinct.
Yeah, it's like
it's just in his blood. It's just something like as a man, you just
it's leadership, right? I mean, you're in a situation and it looks like nobody's stepping up, I mean, you got to believe, let's go. I got to go.
Yeah.
If not me, who's going to do it, right? So that's just kind of.
Hey, at least he's in the Ring of Honor as he should be in Kansas City, and
man, look at that story here.
When I was 14, I saved these 2 kids from drowning and almost drowned myself in the rapids in Missouri. The guy pulled me out and said, "That's some Joe Delaney shit you did." Being my guy, I've been my guy ever since. Hey, that's a great it's a great thing to share. Kareem, really appreciate that. He was selfless and
selfless. Yes.
Again, if you're a Chiefs fan, he's part of our DNA. He's part of the Chiefs culture, the Chiefs kingdom, and he always will be. And I'm so grateful that we are always remembering him, at least at this time of year.
Oh, Joe Delaney, huh? Man.
So, if you in that predicament, like I said, I won't know what to do. But I think if it's some kids, I got to.
It's like when it comes to kids, you gotta jump in. You gotta jump in to help them. You can't, because it won't sit right on your spirit. It won't sit right as
Lou,
a man. I
don't know, man. Lou, I just.
If that was me in there, I'd have been a goner long before you jumped in.
Yeah.
So, don't worry about that.
But don't worry about it. I'm already gone. Don't even worry about it. I'm gone. Don't even trip. Don't even waste your time.
Well,
but with that said, man, hey, this the time to learn how to swim. I'm trying to learn. But
just put your head in the water, man.
Stop it, Joe.
Just put your head in the water. Go down to the bottom. It's only 4 foot. Go down to the bottom, man. Let your hair hit the bottom.
Let your hair hit the bottom.
Let your hair hit the bottom, bro.
Speaking of hair, it's starting to ride up a little bit now, Hense.
Hense is done. Hey, Hense is done. Hense said, "The heck with the waves, man."
Yeah.
That man went from waves to a current. Nah, but for real though. But honestly though, like for me, I can't swim either though, so I can put my hand to water though. Like push come to shove, I know how to swim, right?
You just said I don't know how to swim.
I don't on some fun.
It's kind of OBJ will, OBJ won't. Yeah.
Hey, to have fun, no, but in case of an emergency, yes.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. I think something just kicks in and you just do it.
Yeah, there it is.
So all good. Again, shout out to Joe and his memory and appreciate his sacrifice.
Absolutely. Absolutely, gentlemen.
Go ahead and get us the comments.
All right, before we do the comments, of course, we just shared a Kareem story. Ruben's a big fan of Lou today, a national treasure. Kareem also this is his hero. Kareem, again, I'm totally busting y'all. I'm like the barber and coming over
really,
lying about
Kareem?
milk, punching him in the stomach. I love it.
Really?
Dominic or Demetrio Spence, go Chiefs Pro. Sam with the definitive word on the OBJ situation. Hollywood Brown will have more yards, and Casey Willworthy isn't any different than McCole. We kind of disagree on that one, but we appreciate everybody from Kareem to Ruben, Demetrio, Casey Will, Sam. Who else we got on here? Obviously Kareem, Vincent showed up today.
Frank came in off the
top. Ken St. Clair as well. Hey, listen, we appreciate you all. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please just hit the subscribe button. It should be on your lower right-hand portion of the screen. Tell your friends about it. Tell your Chiefs fans. Send them links. Ask them to subscribe. Yes, we're trolling for subs. It's free. We love bringing you this show. We just did 1.1 thousand on Twitter or X. I'm sorry. I'm still old school. So we appreciate everything. So check us out. Articles on ChiefsBlitz.com will be coming back this week. Took a little break and looking forward to getting ready. It's July now, so it's serious time. It's go time. Training camp starts in about
It's time weeks. For what, guys? Hands and feet. Put hands and feet on Worthy.
So before we go, and I guess we won't be here Wednesday and Friday, correct?
Correct. We're going to take the week off. Yes.
So some things to ponder in the little break here. Hence, biggest storyline going into training camp.
The biggest storyline going into training camp
for you.
For me is like what they gonna do to if they gonna really let Wally get busy, you know what I mean? The Hall of Fame jacket. Is he gonna show? that's that's what I'm looking to see.
He can't help himself.
I want to see.
The number 2 or 3 tight end is the biggest storyline
for me. Right. You asked me for me.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
It struck my funny bone. Sorry.
There you go.
Nick, what do you got?
Let's see. Mike, between now and Monday, first training camp thought will be, I want to see who the backup running back's going to be.
Okay,
that's important to me. I think
backup running back. All right.
I'm not a big CEH fan. I'm not going to lie about it.
He just seems like a great dude.
He is a good dude.
He was never the fit. It just didn't.
It was hype over hope and a reality. And I've said this before. When he got hurt in that New Orleans Saints game, his rookie year, that was basically the end of his career. He's never been the same back since.
What you got?
Mine's, can Worthy beat McDuffie? Can he score? Can he get busy against McDuffie?
That'd be fun to watch.
Because the hands and feet is coming, guys. The hands and feet is coming. And as you can see in the picture, his traps ain't strong enough yet. He doesn't have strong enough traps to fit those pads yet, baby.
Young man. He's a young man. He's just getting that NFL nutrition. You know, he's got to start. You got to start to beef up a little bit. You know, give him a chance.
Get those proteins together. Yeah, but other than that, I want to see hands and feet, man. I want to see the Chiefs secondary get busy. I want to see what Worthy can do for real against man-to-man pressure. So that's what I'm looking at.
Well, for me, it's really going to be a little bit. I don't know if it's reshaped or just repurposed the defensive backfield. Exactly what it's going to look like. I mean, my strong sense is that Reid and Cook are going to be the 2 starting safeties.
Right.
But then it's going to get interesting. Is McDuffie going to move outside permanently? Now, again, I think these guys are going to move around, but as kind of like if there is such a thing as a base defense for Spags, is McDuffie going to be an outside guy or is he going to stay inside because he's arguably the best nickel guy in the league?
Yeah. Okay,
so then is it Watts Island? Is it Joshua Williams? Who gets that? Who's going to be that other starting corner on the outside? And then how do they incorporate either, Najee Johnson? He's basically a rookie, but all the rookies, right? Johnson, Hicks, right? Kamal Haddon, what's he going to be like? And then the continued ascension of Shamari Connor. I mean, I just think these guys are the most underrated group in the NFL. People sleep on this defensive backfield other than, because McDuffie was all pro last year at the nickel, but I think this is a special group and I just want to see kind of how it comes together during camp.
All right. On Monday, we'll be back a week from Monday. I want to make sure that you guys have a safe July 4th week. Enjoy your family, enjoy the downtime, and we hit back on Monday. Kareem's bringing it today. Anniversary day. A couple of pot farmers from England decided we ain't taking this crap no more.
He just needed a little challenge, I gave him we give him a little shove, right. And that's when he brings the gold.
Yeah, and John says what we should all want and see in camp and preseason is a left tackle. Protecting Mahomes is the top priority. The rest will fall into place. I don't disagree with that. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate you guys very much, and we'll be back on a week from today. We'll be back on the 8th, and we'll be hitting it until the Super Bowl, where the Chiefs will start their quest.
Our
no more days off. We'll start their quest.
Also, I want to see in training camp. I want to see the guys together, all 4 guys.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way to get the crew together.
No, that's what I
somehow we'll give it. I think we're all at least agreed. I know Kareem's coming in town.
My disembodied head will be there.
We'll figure it out. All right, guys.
We're gonna Photoshop Lou with us.
That's right. Peace out, everybody.